This is going to be a tutorial for employing the AGM65 Maverick, which is an air-to-ground guided missile on the F-16 platform. So keep in mind that you would have to have prior knowledge of the F-16 systems before watching this tutorial, because I intend for these tutorials to be as short as possible, and I can't explain everything, of course. So, about the Maverick, I'm going to go for the air-to-ground mode, select the AGM65. I also have two LGBs on me, so go for the 65. Power them on if they are not powered on. Put the weapon display on the right and the TGP display on the left. Now, this is my personal preference, but you are encouraged to do whatever you like. So, the Mavericks can be launched in three ways. That is pre-mode, using the TGP to designate the target; visual, using the Maverick Seeker to designate the target, which is ground stabilized; and bore sight, which is not ground stabilized. I will start with the pre. I'm going to zoom in here, bring up the TGP around. What I'm going to do is to go for this island. I have placed a few enemy IFVs on this island, and then after I explain the TGP a little bit, we will engage them. So first of all, here you can see that the TGP is in the air-to-ground mode, that the handoff to the missile will be manual, or auto if you like. So when I'm designating a target by pressing TMS up on the TGP, that target, if I'm auto, should automatically be given to the weapon display as well, to be selected as a designated target. Here the third info I have is the zoom in on or zoom out information. As you can see, I can go for narrow or wide, and from there zoom in or zoom out. Next you have the override and the controls. That's basic understanding. Next you have the TV, the white hot and the B hot modes. You can press the button here, the USB number 5, or use TMS left short to change between them. I like to use white hot. Okay. Next I have the laser code for the spot search if I were to uncage the TGP. As an idea, you can change that code from here: list 0, 5, double down, 1, 2, 3, 4 as an example. As you can see, here is 1, 2, 3, 4. So he will look for a laser lasing this target with the code 1, 2, 3, 4 if I were to uncage the TGP. Next I have this snowplow mode, which I will explain in later videos as well. It allows you to have the TGP looking forward as you are flying to pick targets of opportunity or do reconnaissance. The next one is the cursor 0. I'm going to actually mark a point using the TGP, as you can see. Press MCell to have the steer point number 26 as the selected steer point. Now I'm going back to the TGP. I'm just moving around, looking wherever. Then if I press cursor 0, it will come back to my designated steer point. Okay, here number 3 and number 7 are my Maverick stations. I have 3 on the left wing and 3 on the right wing. I can toggle between them using my step button on the stick, the same button which switches between MRAM and Sidewinders in air combat, or engages the nose wheel steering on the ground. Okay, so without further ado, let's try the auto mode. I'm going to zoom in just to help you have a better idea of what I'm doing right now. I'm finding a target using my TGP. I'm pressing TMS up. I can see here that the handoff was performed. I'm going to do it again. Just look at the weapon display. Okay, as you can see, because my crosshairs are trembling and I am in range, I'm at 5 miles currently, this target has been selected. Now all I have left to do is to press the pickle button and the Maverick is away. I can use the TGP to actually look at the target to make sure that I hit it. And I will hit it momentarily. Now I have elected to do this tutorial in active pose to have enough time to explain the system as clear as I can. Okay, so should happen about now. That's it. Okay, so that was the pre-mode. If I were to use the manual mode, that would mean to identify a target like this one here, TMS up to establish a point track, turn the weapon page to soy, zoom in, and then try to find the same target again. As you can see, I failed to do that. No, I was good in doing that. This is that's the guy. Just to make sure, so they're at the end of the island and is the second one from top to bottom. There he is. I'm not going to waste this Maverick on that, but that's the main functionality of firing them in manual. Certainly you would like to do it in auto because it isn't up the workload. Okay, TMS down on both of them. I'm going for visual mode. The visual mode uses the HUD. As you can see, I have the HUD as sensor of interest, but I can tell you that by looking at the asterisk here. If you don't have the HUD soy, just press DMS up. Now I'm going to use the TDC to move the target cursor to move the target designation box around the rough area of the enemy. Keep in mind this is ground stabilized, so if I press TMS up right now, and you will see this when I'm flying, I now have the weapon pages, so I'm going to zoom in, pick this guy as a target, and fire away. I'm going to use the TGP to make sure that I hit that guy, this one. So the pre-mode would help you to both ID and engage a target in a known location, while the visual mode would bypass the TGP and help you strike at a target of opportunity without necessarily IDing it. Okay, so you may not be entirely sure what you are firing at. Okay, the next mode, which is not ground stabilized, it's the bore mode. As you can see, I have the hard soy and I'm moving. 1 second. I'm moving the Maverick Seeker, which is not ground stabilized, to find another target. This, as you can see, has a lower resolution than the visual mode and even less than the pre-mode. The idea is the same. I'm just moving the TDC to find the target. Once I find it, I'm pressing TMS up and Maverick away. I'm going to use the TGP to look at the target again as well. Most of the times you would use the pre-mode if you have an active steer point near the targets or if you can ID the targets from a distance. Otherwise I would go for the visual modes because it allows me to fire much faster, with the disadvantage that I'm not entirely sure that I'm firing at my intended targets. For example, if I'm attacking a convoy, I would go for the... there he goes. I would go for the armored targets, not fuel trucks. But if you are to use the visual modes, you can't really make a difference. Okay, so now I'm going for the visual mode, or the pre-mode actually. We are in auto. I'm going to unpause this. Use my TGP to find the target. This guy is good. As you can see, I don't have on my weapon the target selected, the handoff. It's working just now. Fire away. I'm going to zoom out and increase the altitude and speed because they can fire at me. I would like to point out that this dot is showing me where the TGP is looking in with respect to the aircraft position.